Organizational design, simulation, evolving structures. My name is Alex Rothog.
My name is Connor Ludwig.
All right. How do the structural layers in organization design required by EcoChip change? So the company started as a flexible organization with an informal structure consisting of few rules, no hierarchy, and little formalization. As the simulation developed, we moved to a functional structure. We received positive feedback. However, the structure wasn't what the company needed. During round two, we moved from a functional structure to a divisional structure, but there was still room for improvement. In round three, we transitioned from divisional to a matrix structure, and we were able to meet 93% of the organization's goals.
So how are the organizational KPIs influenced by structural decisions? Structural decisions can have a significant impact on organizational key performance indicators, KPIs. By changing from an informal to a formal structure and implementing a functional structure, the focus shifts towards improving customer needs and efficiency. This can lead to improvements in KPIs such as customer satisfaction, productivity, and operational efficiency. As the company grows and adopts a divisional structure, KPIs may be influenced by factors such as market share, profitability, and customer segment performance. Finally, transitioning to a matrix structure can enhance collaboration, innovation, and cross functional communication, which can positively impact KPIs related to project success, employee engagement, and overall performance. So, structural decisions play a crucial role in shaping and influencing organizational KPIs.
So the results or of the results that surprised me the most, it was that the organization structure needed to change several times. At the beginning, the unstructured excuse me, the informal structure worked. However, as the organization grew, it started to show inefficiencies and it needed to change. So it made me realize when a problem arises, a company needs to act quickly to prevent profit loss. So, yeah, I would enjoy working in a company like EcoTrip. You need to be self-driven to work in a company with an informal structure. You would have to hold yourself accountable and trust who you are working with. A flexible structure can leave gray areas where duties may seem unclear, and it is important to make sure everyone is on the same page. It could be both easier and harder to work in a company with an informal structure rather than a formal structure. The flexible structure allows for freedom in the company. I would be able to think for myself. However, it might prove to be less effective than an organization with a set structure that has defined procedures.
Yeah, there are many challenges in the adaptation of a changing organizational structure. Firstly, being open to change and embracing new structures and processes is crucial. Flexibility and adaptability are key traits as well. And then effective communication and collaboration are vital, especially as the company grows and becomes more complex. Being able to work well with diverse teams and across different functions and divisions is important as well. And then lastly, a strong focus on customer needs and efficiencies would be beneficial. The structure, in terms of whether working in such a company would be easier or harder than a more formal company, it can be a bit of both. On one hand, the dynamic nature and opportunities for innovation and changing structure can make work exciting and fulfilling. And then on the other hand, you need certain levels of resilience and willingness to learn. With all these factors in play, I would be willing to work in a company like EcoTrip. I feel like I could adapt to structural changes, and I do have the willingness to learn new processes. Although I would prefer to have a set role in the company to become more skilled in, I believe I could still adapt to all organizational changes and feel fulfilled while doing it.
What were the significant insights and lessons you derived from the simulation concerning organizational design? So, from this assignment, I have learned how crucial every decision is to an organization's profitability. Each structure of the organization design has its advantages and disadvantages. It's important to deeply analyze your company before deciding what structure will work best. It is also important to realize that organizations change, and the structure that worked best initially might not work best forever.
The EcoTrip organizational design simulation created many significant insights and lessons. To begin with, I learned that employees prefer informal structures over formal structures. In round one of the simulation, employees were mostly satisfied with their job. However, job satisfaction was at a 7 out of 10. Employee collaboration and engagement was positive, and employees had freedom to prioritize their work. The most important aspect was that voluntary turnover was only 2%. This is important because employees like the informal structure so much that they rarely decided to leave the company. However, in round 2 and 3 of the simulation, the organizational structure became formal. And then due to this, employees became less satisfied with their jobs. It was a 4 out of 10, and voluntary turnover rose to 10%. The next learning point was the speed to market or processing. Switching from an informal structure to a formal structure didn't change much for processing. In the early stages of transitioning, it definitely probably wouldn't change much, so that's not a surprise. But decision making and productivity did increase with this structure change. The last thing I learned was the impact from round 1 to round 3. Making the different structural changes through each round, it was easy to see what changes did to the company. Employee satisfaction started off good, became bad, and then became better again. And then processing was mediocre through the first 2 rounds of the simulation, but became good in round 3. Revenue increased throughout structural changes, and retention rate increased as well. And then for our conclusion, organizational design plays a critical role in shaping a company's performance. It's important to align the structure with the company's goals and growth stage. The impact of structure on key performance indicators, KPIs, highlights the need for thoughtful design to optimize performance. Effective communication, collaboration, and adaptability are key skills for success in a changing organizational structure. Additionally, the simulation shows the importance of customer focus and efficiency in driving organizational growth and success. This simulation created a better understanding of organizational structure, and we both learned important information that can be used in the real world.